Welcome to PSYCOW. I'm Kyle.
Stacy.
And this week we have an amazing guest, very underrated guest.
Alexa Marcigliano.
If you do not know who that is, she was in The Woman, and obviously...
Google it!
Yes, everyone that knows us by now knows that Stacy and I are both obsessed with that movie. And we've already had Lauren Ashley Carter and Andrew Van Den Houten on our show, and we're trying to get Pollyanna McIntosh for our Christmas special. Yeah, but if you've not seen The Woman yet, please, for the love of God, stop what you're doing and go watch it, because this interview will spoil one of the biggest shock scenes in the entire movie.
Yeah, we're gonna blow it. So if you have not seen it, sorry, I didn't mean it in a sexual manner.
I got it.
But, if you have not seen it, please, I have fucking taken this movie, and this is no joke. I've taken this movie, and I've called up every one of my friends, and I'm like, hey, have you seen this yet? No? Okay, I'm coming over, and we're watching this movie.
Yeah.
And, that's literally what I did with this movie, and I even called my mom. I made my mom watch this movie.
Yes.
I was like, you can't go on with your life without seeing this movie.
It really is amazing. So like Stacy said earlier, you obviously have an extra hour of your time if you're listening to our podcast. Make it an extra hour and a half. Go watch The Woman. Come back and listen to this show, because you're not going to want to miss the interview.
Exactly. I don't even know what to say. It's amazing. It's really, really good.
So without further ado, let us jump right into the interview.
So what got you interested in doing stunt work?
Oh, all right. We'll start right off with my geekiness. When I was 9, I used to watch that show Xena Warrior Princess. You guys remember that shit?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. So one day I found out that there is this woman who wasn't Lucy Lawless that did all of the really cool stuff that Xena does. And I was like, well, why wouldn't everybody want to do that? Yeah, it was Zoe Bell.
Yep.
And so ever since then, that's been pretty much my life goal.
Did you watch the documentary with her? What was that movie called?
Double Dare.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Copies.
She's so talented. I mean, I'd be scared to do half the stuff in that. Just from what she does with spinning around and stuff, I feel like I'd break my neck.
Yeah. Practice.
What? So you are a big fan of Zoe Bell. What other inspiration did you have?
Really, the first inspiration was Zoe Bell. I mean, she was the biggest one. And then I watched shows like Buffy and, Dark Angel, all those awesome 90s shows that we just don't have on TV anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Tomb Raider, also, like playing the games, watching the movies. I have a very specific genre of things I enjoy.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I don't want to go too deep into stunt work before I have to ask this question, because I feel like it's kind of like how you and me started talking a little bit. But how did you get those awesome draw something skills?
I was actually realizing the other day that our game has fallen by the wayside.
I know, you're still number one. You still have the number one spot. That's like 130 something?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
We've got to up our game. I'm up to 450 with somebody.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, do you use like iPad or do you use like a little phone?
I use my iPhone.
I use an iPod.
I was about to say, how do people draw on their little phone? I tried doing it, and it just ends up looking terrible.
I don't know. I can't really draw in real life.
No, she's lying. She's lying. Don't even listen to that.
She has a second profession and being a professional draw-something person.
Yeah. I'm not even joking.
In fact, Stacey, I owe you a picture still, and you'll see that I really cannot draw.
That's right. That's right. I did ask for a picture. Oh.
She sent me a bunch of Hunger Games stuff. It was pretty much awesome.
Well, jumping back into the stunt work, because obviously that's the main focal point of what you do. Do you ever feel like the stunt work is kind of doesn't get the recognition it's deserved just because people actually think that Tom Cruise is the one jumping out of windows and stuff?
Yeah, I feel like often it's an overlooked category of filmmaking. But, for me personally, I kind of like it that way. I like being behind the scenes a little more. I don't know if it's like that for everyone, but I much prefer to be, like, the secret person behind all of the action and let them think that it's really easy, but really I'm having fun back here, like, doing all this really cool shit.
Right.
But that could just be me. I don't know.
Were you a horror fan growing up?
I was, kind of. I get really scared when I watch horror movies. I'm going to be completely honest. I have a lot of trouble watching horror movies and not picturing myself as that main character and how horrifying this would be. That being said, I love watching horror films, and when I got the opportunity for The Woman, my best friend, actually both of my best friends at the time, were huge horror movie aficionados, and they were giant Lucky fans. So they informed me of how awesome an opportunity this was, and showed me May and showed me Sick Girl and opened my eyes. But yeah, I do like horror as a genre, but it's not my favorite. Strong action women.
Right.
That's good too. That's very good. What was it like auditioning for The Woman?
Oh my god, it was hilarious. I had no idea what I was getting into. Basically, I got this really hilarious casting call that said they needed a 5'1" stunt woman, martial artist, gymnast to act like a dog, and I'm pretty sure the casting call said that there was nudity in the movie, but don't worry, there's no nudity for the dog girl. I was like, well, I guess that's good. And so I put in my headshot, and I got a response that said, we'd like you to come in for an audition. We want you to watch this video first and see if you can emulate the actions. And the video they sent me was of this Ukrainian feral woman that was child. Oh, and she runs around on all fours and barks. So I spent the next couple weeks running around my apartment on all fours, to the great amusement of my roommates.
I would have loved to have been there. That would have been amazing.
Yeah. Do you have?
It was incredible.
Do you have any of that on tape?
No. There was no tape. We would set up an obstacle course with the couch, and I had to practice, because I didn't know what they were going to want. So I was like, I need to practice jumping over things. And dogs, they land like front feet first. So I had to practice landing like hands first when I was jumping over stuff. I face planted a lot. And then the audition was really awkward. It was me and these two casting people who had nothing to do with the movie. They were just the casting company and one person with a camera. And they said, so we don't really know what the director wants, except that he wants you to run around like a dog and look really ferocious. So out there is video of me running around dressed completely normal, furs, barking, growling, and it's a lot more amusing when I'm not in costume.
Yeah, that's the video that I want to see. They should have put that in the movie. That would have been hilarious.
Yeah, if you ever get to interview Lucky, you can ask him about it.
I am going to tweet him as soon as we're done with this. Be like, hey.
I know that Andrew's working with us a lot. He loved coming on the show, and we're new to interviewing, but we're kind of homing in on our skills and trying to perfect it. And we talked to Andrew and Lauren. And Andrew's working with us to get Lucky and Pollyanna. We're trying to get the whole cast just because we're obsessed with The Woman. It's
awesome.
It's so unhealthy how obsessed we are with the movie.
Well, I listened to the Andrew podcast. I did not realize. Do you really have a woman tattoo?
Yes, I do.
That's amazing. What is it, and where is it?
It's on the back. Well, I have like 60 tattoos, so it's really not that amazing because I put everything on my body. But I mean, it's on the back of my left forearm, and it's the picture of her kind of. It's a headshot of her looking up all menacingly with right after the scene where she bit off his finger.
Oh, sweet.
So it's a little bloody. She's got and it freaks my fiance out. She wakes up to it, and she jumps and she goes, "Your tattoo fucking scared me again."
That's so amazing. Somebody told me a story similar about they watched The Woman, and they were so scarred by the Socket character that I guess this woman was like sleeping in her house alone that night, and she kept expecting Socket to come through the dog door at any moment. Which really makes me feel like my job was done.
Yes.
Definitely.
You were the biggest shock in the entire movie. Like I said, I mean, I was not expecting that at all. Like that the whole movie was, I don't know. It was an unreal movie just because it was a feral woman and they had her captive. It was amazing, but they kept talking about feed the dogs and everything, and I just assumed they have dogs, and then you popped out and I was like, oh my god, this movie's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, watching people's faces in the theater was pretty amazing also, because I saw it a couple times. We went to a couple different premieres, and the first time, obviously I watched the movie, but then after that I watched people, and
right.
I remember specifically this one woman from the time they throw Miss Raton in the dog pen, and she's like backing up towards the doghouse. This woman's shaking her head no, and she was just like slowly like covering her eyes and then peeking out and looking at the screen. And the moment I popped out, she just screamed, covered her face, and practically hit the floor. It was so.
What was it like eating Carly Baker?
She was very cooperative. It was an interesting experience all around because, first of all, I couldn't see anything because of all the facial prosthetics. And then I'm on all fours, and I have a combination of, like, Caro syrup and KY jelly in my mouth.
The greatest combination.
Yeah.
They had denture cream to keep in the teeth. So, like, oh, God, it was disgusting. Would all cut, and I would just be standing there, and this blood would be oozing out of my mouth. I must have looked so disgusting. How people wanted to be my friend after that, I just don't even.
And now we're interviewing you. That's why we thought it was awesome.
Exactly.
The more gore, the better.
I honestly showed my mom that movie because I was obsessed with it, and I have to show my mom everything I'm obsessed with for some reason, even though she won't like it whatsoever. But she watched it, and the moment you popped out, she literally grabbed onto her seat, and she was like, this movie's making me too nervous. We have to turn it off. And I was like, what?
She peed a little?
Definitely. This is the same
she
woman.
made the hardest part at that point.
Yeah. Everything else, she was like, this movie's weird. And then that happened. She's like, it's making me nervous. Turn it off.
I mean, and there was like 10 minutes left of the movie, too. I mean, she was almost there.
I was like, hey, Mom, it's almost done. You're good.
I showed it to my mom, too. She loved it. It was kind of weird.
That's an awesome mom.
Yeah, my mom was really into it. Her husband was kind of freaked out, but...
Yeah, my mom would just be like, oh, what are you doing?
I think
my mom was like, that's my little girl.
Cannibalistic dog person.
Exactly. My stepdad was not so into it. He was kind of like, what the fuck is going... What? Where did this person come from? What is this? What's happening?
That's great.
So what's the future for Socket, Peg, The Woman, and Shyla?
Oh man, I do not know, but I hope there is one, because I have to say, like, I was in good shape then, but I'm in much better shape now, and I could do a lot of really cool Socket things if asked to come back.
I would love to see the character again, just more developed, to see what happens, because I think there's more to than just being a dog. You know what I mean? Like
Definitely.
And obviously we want to see another one.
She's got a hard life.
What was that?
I said, poor little Socket. She's got a hard life.
Right.
Shit's tough for her. Blind, raised by dogs. She used to wear that little dress.
The dress was
That's
cute.
True. It was.
I have the dress, and if this was going to be a video podcast, I was going to wear it.
Oh.
Totally do it. Crank up the video. I'm in sweatpants. Is that cool?
I have broken glasses on. That counts for anything.
Well, I mean, I'm not wearing it. I don't just sit around in it.
That would be weird. No, if you were in it, that'd be kind of creepy.
Oh yeah.
Stacey, you have another question?
Yeah, I'm sorry, my fucking mute button was on. I can't.
Yeah, her mute button for some reason has a mind of its own.
Oh,
Yeah,
surprise.
definitely it does. So, I don't know if you guys have, but the novel for the woman, at the end, there's a short story called Cow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Have you read this?
I've read Cow.
Okay. So you kind of know what happens a little bit.
In Cow? Yeah, I know.
Okay. So, what our hope is that we're going to keep hounding Andrew to have everybody come back and make Cow a movie.
Right.
So, we want you back, just so you know.
Oh, well, thank you.
Hey, no problem.
I thought that was about me, because that's my nickname, and I was really excited that someone put me in a damn book. I was like, that's pretty beast.
And then you read it and you were like, this book is not about me.
Yeah, that's... Where am I in this? This is not me! But yeah, like we said, the movie, you were the biggest part of the movie, and you've talked about the gory effects. In any other movies, and I know you have another one coming out, where you did The Double, I believe. I've never heard of the actress that you played the double as, though.
Oh, are you talking about Muck?
Muck, right.
Oh, yeah. I guess I worked with Kane Hodder, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was my next question. I was like, what was working with him? Because he's a stuntman, but I mean, he's also, Jason Voorhees, and he's
he's a big... Yeah.
Yeah, the dude from Hatchet. I mean, he's everything. He's a huge guy. What's it like working with him?
He was really great. We didn't work specifically together, unfortunately, but I was there the day that he did work, and I have to say, he is a scary man when he wants to be. Oh my god, that's not just a movie effect. He can be really, truly horrifying. But yeah, Muck is going to be an interesting film that, judging from the movies you guys like, you're gonna love this one. Yeah, there is a lot of blood.
Oh, thank God.
Exactly. That's all we want in life.
But I was trying to find out who Stephanie Danielson was, and I was like, I don't know who that is. And I was reading through it. I don't think I've ever seen anything she was in. But except Paranormal Activity.
Have you seen Paranormal Activity?
I saw the beginning of it, and I was like, oh, okay.
What is this? Hold on, I gotta stop.
It's one of those like scary movie kind of things, but they're kind of doing the hand cam ghost thing.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't. I couldn't do it.
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
So.
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, it didn't do too well. But
up and coming, I think.
So what's it like being the double for someone? I mean, I know you do all the stunts, but what's it like being a direct double instead of just doing other stunts?
Yeah, that was actually one of the few times that I have distinctly like doubled for somebody. It was interesting. I can't tell you what the stunt was that I did, unfortunately, but rest assured it was pretty awesome. So when that movie comes out, I'll let you know which one was me. Well, you'll know, actually.
When something cool happens to her, we're like, oh, there she is.
Oh, you'll know. But yeah, it was interesting doubling for somebody. I've done it once before on this sci-fi show called School Spirits. I had to double for this girl, and I had to fall down the stairs. So it's interesting being the other person, though, and, they had to put a ridiculous wig on me both times. The first time I was a blonde, and the second time I had this long red hair. And, you basically just are this other person. And only for a day, though.
Right.
I like although I love doubling, I kind of loved the part about Socket where I got to be the character, because, it's not just a day, and you really do get the camaraderie with all the other cast and crew, and you get to be there and get to know everybody. Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts about being a character. Although, if I'm going to be a character, I much prefer that it's in full facial prosthetics covered in blood.
Right. Well, I noticed... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, how long were you in makeup daily?
It was like 10 hours or something.
Oh.
Damn.
And you couldn't see.
A long time.
So there was no way to gain your vision back when it's like offset?
If I tipped my head all the way back, I could see, and looked down, I could see, kind of. So playing, like, we would sit around because we would be waiting. They would put up all my makeup on in the morning, and then we would be waiting for when they got to my scenes. So I wouldn't be bloody yet. I would be really dirty, and I'd be in the dress, and I would have the facial prosthetics on, and then I'd be sitting there. And, we would play Scrabble or something, and I would have a really hard time seeing all the letters. So that was kind of interesting. I think there's some really hilarious pictures out there of me that I never even knew people were taking because I couldn't see them. But they would take pictures of me, like, in the socket garb, eating an apple, or something. We decided to make a really cool calendar, like the many things that Socket does,
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
We will buy it.
That would be great. I wish they would make that.
You said you liked playing Socket and everything. Would you like to transition more into acting and stunts at the same time, or would you rather just do stunts?
I don't really aspire to be an actress at all, except when it comes to creature acting. I think I really, really enjoyed that. But I don't know. Don't ask me to speak a line, in a movie. But barking, that's fine. Yeah. So that as long as it's some sort of creature, I like. One of the parts I like about stunts and creature acting in general is kind of accessing your animal side. I'm much better at that than being emotional on screen and acting. I have a lot of respect for people who can do that, but I'm not one of those people.
Definitely. I know how you feel. It's okay. As soon as the camera gets in my face, I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do. I just kind of sit there like, all right.
Well, I noticed you also do, I guess they call it precision driving. Does that still kind of get your adrenaline going when you're going that fast and doing sharp turns and spinning after doing it so much?
Oh, yeah. I do enjoy the driving. It's not one of the stunts that I would get hired most for personally, but when I do get to do it, I really enjoy it. Although, industry secret, they're never going as fast as it looks like they are.
Right. Well, why weren't you credited, though, at the end of Night and Day? Because I sat through that movie, and I was like, this movie, it's got cool stuff happening, but I'm just not a fan of Tom Cruise. But why weren't you credited for that movie?
What I did in that movie, precision driving is kind of different than stunt driving. Like, stunt drivers do the crazy shit, and the precision drivers are the ones around which they do the crazy shit. So my role was less exciting, since that was my first movie ever. My role was less exciting than, true stunt driving. So basically my role was to drive straight over the Zachem Bridge in Boston at 50 miles per hour and let the stunt driver swerve around you and don't fucking hit them.
What happens if you do hit them?
Oh, man, I don't even want to know. I was driving my own car. I didn't want to hit them.
All right.
20
points. Somebody
points.
else's car.
Yeah.
You gotta play like Toxic Avenger rules, where it's like you get points for hitting certain people.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, 100 points.
Exactly. Yeah, but as far as, driving is, there are people who specialize in driving, and although I'll get some driving roles in my life, the ones that I more enjoy are the parkour, gymnastics style roles, things that require a lot of physical ability and less driving ability.
We saw your video on the internet, the little montage of all the badass shit you do. I was so amazed.
Oh, well, thank you.
I can't imagine myself doing 99.9% of that stuff.
Exactly. Being on fire, number one.
Yeah, not a fan of fire.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of fun. I do enjoy that.
What goes in the process of that? I mean, I know they obviously aren't just setting you on fire. And I think I've seen a couple things where they put some kind of suit on you, and then like some kind of, and they're like a fluid that tell me how that happens. I don't want to talk out of my ass.
No, you're not wrong. So there's Nomex, which is fire resistant cloth, and they're underclothes that you wear that are Nomex, and then depending on the fire burn and the wardrobe, really dictates how much of the Nomex you can wear. It is possible to do a completely naked fire burn. I haven't done that, but it's possible. So you don't necessarily need it. So on top of the Nomex, next would come clothing, which needs to be 100% cotton with no like logos or anything that's going to melt to you, no tags on the inside. You know, you got to be really careful. And then there's the gel. There are a couple of different kinds of gel, but basically it's really cold. Oh man, that gel is so cold. And
Right.
they put over you, and it's fire resistant also. Eventually it will burn up, but it's a protective layer between you and any of the flames that'll be like licking around to the sides. And then they put on accelerant, and then they light you on fire, and you have to hold your breath the whole time. It's really intense, so you don't burn your lungs, and then you do whatever action it is they're asking you to do while you're on fire, and try not to freak out.
That is the scariest fucking thing I have ever heard.
I know exactly.
I know you talked about, you said it was possible to do the naked. I know that, I think the movie The Watchmen was the first time anyone had been shirtless doing a fire scene, I believe. I think I read that.
I don't know that maybe.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Done very shirtless fire burns. I don't know the time frame though.
No thanks. I don't even want to do it with all the shirts in the world on. I don't. I'm not a fan of getting burned.
Is there any stunts out there where you're kind of like, oh, that's kind of nuts?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there are regularly stunts that happen where, you know, you think twice, like, if I got that call, would I do it? For me, so far, the answer has generally been yes, I don't. But I'm trying to think, what would a stunt that I wouldn't do be?
Like, you're not afraid of heights, you're not afraid of... Are you afraid of anything?
I'm afraid of great white sharks.
Okay, that's a valid fear.
That's logical.
So too, I'm not shitting you. Those things will.
So, but you wouldn't have a problem jumping off of the Empire State Building?
Well, I mean, maybe the Empire State Building. High falls are my favorite. One of my favorite stunts, actually.
I'm deathly afraid of heights, but truthfully, I have always wanted to jump off of a building onto one of those giant, like, inflatable trampoline things. Kind of just like
the airbag.
Right. It's kind of just like a face your fears thing, and like once I get down, I'm like, let's do it again. But you know, when I'm up there, I'm going to piss myself.
Yeah, the high falls into an airbag are pretty fun. And the airbag you land in, well, depending on how high you're jumping from, the airbag is kind of like a moon bounce, only there's air exhaust on the side, so when you land in it, it deflates.
Oh, I love moon bounce.
But it's still pretty dangerous. You know, you have to land perfectly flat on your back, which is kind of counterintuitive.
Right.
Even landing in one of those things, you can still, like, injure yourself.
It'd be worth it to face my fear, though.
You know, that definitely, it's a good time. I recommend it for everybody.
I probably couldn't do it. You know those swings at the fair? I'm talking fair rides. There's those swings that you get on, and then there's...
like the pirate ride, or the one that goes around in a circle?
The one that goes in a circle.
Oh, yeah.
I was on that once. This is the last ride I ever rode in my life. I rode that ride. I was up in the air. There's little kids, like, waving at their mom, like, hey, Mom, check me out! And I'm like, fuck everybody! Get off of this fucking thing!
Well, that's the thing, though. You can ride a ride at, like, Six Flags or somewhere like that, but if you go on the fair rides, I rode a roller coaster on a fair, and it was held together by duct tape, and I didn't notice till while we were on, and I said, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, those ones, you're kind of taking your life into your own hands, but...
Fair rides are designed to make you throw up.
Yeah. You know, confession, I love rides, but I can't do rides that spin.
Yep.
So any of those fair rides, I get off of them, and I better not have eaten fried dough before I got on there.
That's all that's at the fair is fried dough.
They know what they're doing. So, being a stunt woman and a double, has it ever been rough working with some people or doubling for people? I know you said the first movie that you've doubled on was Muck. Has it ever been hard just like to work with some people?
No. I don't think I've ever really had a bad experience working with somebody. I mean, the majority of the things that I've done have been, I was the character myself. Like a lot of short films and stuff where I'm doing fighting and I was the character. So the couple times I've doubled for people, they've been great. Really friendly. Although, you know, one comment I get a lot, like, I've had actresses wanting to do the stunts themselves because I guess we make it look easy.
Right.
I don't think it is.
No, it's not.
No. Looking at what you do, literally, like that video you made, I was literally like studying piece by piece because I think somebody grabs you by the throat.
Oh yeah, that's my friend Justin.
And then you kick him off, and I'm like, I need to learn how to do that, like now. And I'm watching.
It's like a rape prevention video to learn how to fight.
Exactly.
Yeah. We did that in Central Park, and I, props to Justin, because he lifted me up over his head, like, a good 40 times in a row.
Oh, wow.
And, I mean, it looks really impressive, because he's 6'7", and I'm only 5'1", so... People thought, like, somebody tried to intervene at one point. They thought that I was actually being...
And then they saw you kick off, and they're like, oh, God, look at this lady.
She's a ninja!
Exactly. That guy fucked with the wrong person.
And the iPhones were out, and YouTube is just with videos.
Yes.
Well, is there anybody that you would love to work with in the future?
Oh, Zoe Bell, man. I would love to work with Zoe Bell or, like, Lucy Romberg. There are a lot of stunt people I'd like to work with. And just, this is... Truly, I would love to work with Angelina Jolie just because I've been such a huge fan my whole life. Right. Tomb Raider, that movie, man.
I didn't understand why they were fighting robots in the second one.
You don't need to. You don't need to.
It's Tomb Raider, shut up, I don't care.
Oh, that's awesome. That was a perfect answer.
Don't understand, just watch it.
I wish I would have known that. I used to have a huge Angelina Jolie cardboard cutout from Tomb Raider.
I don't think that I don't want that.
You do want that. You do want that.
Thank you.
We used to make it do gymnastics all the time, and it was pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
Well,
I would go in my room. I have a really small bedroom, but I wouldn't mind if half of it was taken up by that life-size Angelina Jolie cardboard cutout.
Especially from Tomb Raider.
Right? Exactly.
Exactly.
Well, every show we like to do what we call the PSYCOW 8, where we ask you 8 kind of, not exactly rapid-fire questions, but just questions we'd like to ask people. What's the scariest movie you've ever seen of all time?
Oh, God. This is a really dorky answer, but The Ring, when I was in high school, was the scariest movie at the time I've ever seen.
Have you ever seen the Japanese version?
I haven't. It took me a good 5 viewings of the American version before I actually saw the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
I'm telling you, man, I get really scared.
That's cool.
I love that. I love that.
That's what horror movies are designed to do. I can't get scared anymore, and I hate that because I love being scared.
What's the best movie you've seen in the last 5 years?
Oh. I'm like looking at my stack of movies over here right now. Wow, that's a good question. Maybe Kick-Ass.
Oh.
Has that been the last 5 years?
Yeah, that's the last 5 years. That was
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
All right, Kick-Ass, definitely.
Are you looking forward to the sequel?
Yeah.
Jim Carrey.
I wish I was in the sequel.
I
was Hit Girl for Halloween the last 2 years. It was awesome.
That's awesome. What's your favorite movie you worked on so far?
Oh, definitely The Woman, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yay.
I kind of figured because I'd want to be in makeup like that. That'd just be so cool.
It was cool. Yeah, it was cool scaring people. Like, I scared the shit out of Zach Rand one day, like the first day I ever met him. This is actually really a mean story, but I'm going to tell you. Do you have time?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Bill's Club kept us on for 2.5 hours.
Oh, shit, okay. So I don't know if you remember the scene in The Woman where Zach goes to put down the dog food in the doghouse. He's kind of like looking in there, and then whatever's in the doghouse barks, and it scares the shit out of him.
Yes.
So he's doing that scene, and then they think it would be really funny. I had just come down in all of my makeup, and Zach was out of the room for a second. And they're like, Alexa, we want you to get in there, and he's not going to know you're in there, and we just want you to actually bark at him at that scene so he gets, like, so we scare him, and it's going to be funny. And it was my first day on set, and I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be great. So I house, and they're filming, and Zach has no idea that I'm in there. And, you know, the time comes when he's looking in, he's putting down the dog food. I am positive that he sees me. I mean, he's looking right at me, but I decide, you know, I'm gonna go for it anyways. And, so when the time comes, I bark and kind of lunge at him a little inside the doghouse, and he just freezes. He just froze. Had no idea that I was in there, and I scared the crap out of that poor kid. I'm sad, but it's hilarious.
That's awesome. Was that caught on tape?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's on tape somewhere.
Oh, God.
Yes.
We need to get a hold of Lucky and say we need everything.
Yeah.
Everything ever filmed. We need it in our eyeballs now.
Yeah.
Immediately.
It's a cruel thing to do to a 12-year-old, but, you know.
No, it's not.
Totally worth it.
He's in a horror movie. You gotta do that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
What is the worst movie monster of all time?
Ooh. Actually, you asked Andrew this question. I couldn't think of one then. I probably should have, like, made an effort to think of one. This one, I'm gonna keep thinking about it.
Okay. What's your guilty pleasure movie that you watch?
Ooh. Mean Girls?
Oh, me too. That's mine.
I heard you say that in the last one, and I was like, oh, that's totally mine, too.
I hate that I love that movie so much. I don't know why.
It's one of the only movies that I can watch more than once in one day.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a fan of chick flicks for the most part, but
Well, neither.
Something about that movie just cracks me up, and I don't know why.
It's probably the most quotable movie ever. I would say besides that, my other favorite guilty pleasure movie is Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me.
Yes.
That's an excellent choice. I don't know why, but lately I've been wanting to watch those. And now that you said that, I have an excuse.
Yes.
Well, the funny thing is, my movie collection is literally, I have like 1,000 movies, and they're all either horror or drama or action, and then right in the middle, in the M section, because I have OCD and they have to be in alphabetical order, is Mean Girls in a bright purple case, and people come over and they're like, what the hell is that? I'm like, shut up, you don't know me.
You don't know me? Yeah.
I don't want anybody ever looking in my closet at the movies I have inside the closet.
It's your porn collection?
No.
It's like, what's in your closet, Stacey?
Yeah, what's in there?
What's in there? I'm looking at it right now. Right now, inside my closet, there's Beaches, the Bette Midler movie. I don't know if either.
Yes.
It's not a terrible movie. It's not bad.
That movie, I don't know if I said it last time, but that's the only movie on this planet that I will absolutely bawl every time I watch it. Every time. Literally, I had friends over, they're like, alright, we're gonna come over, we're gonna watch it with you, and you're not gonna cry because we're gonna be making fun of it the whole time. And I was like, alright. And we watched it, and literally that fucking Wind Beneath My Wings song started playing. I just started fucking losing it. And they're like, are you really crying? Like, we were making fun of this. You're laughing. I'm like, I can't fucking do it, guys. I can't fucking do it. It's so sad. Why?
Amazing.
I do own that movie. And that's the
I appreciate your confession, and that you have to say it like it's a confession.
Right, I mean, that's not even that embarrassing to me. I have worse movies than that.
Everybody makes fun of me for that. They're like, oh, this movie's way more sad. And I'm like, no. Beaches is the ultimate sad movie. That's it.
Sad story.
That's it.
In other news, I thought of, like, the worst horror movie monsters. Have you ever seen that movie Poultrygeist? Right of the Chicken Head?
Yes.
I would say anything from that movie.
I think that's what Andrew said too. From Trauma.
And I can
Is that the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, Trauma did that. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
They make some awful monsters. Most times it's on purpose, but I think when they first started out, they were trying to be serious.
Awful amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
That movie, I love that movie, but yeah, you're right. It's terrible too. It's weird.
But so good. Or like, I don't even know if this is a horror movie, but I remember watching this movie years ago called Evil Bong that had like an evil bong.
Right. Yep. I got made fun of because I talked about that movie one time, and then they made fun of me for liking Ginger Dead Man, and I'm like, well, I like these terrible movies.
Oh, but then it's amazing.
Yeah, it's awful, and that's what makes it great.
Yes.
It's the perfect kind of movie to watch with a group of friends, especially if you're drinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like Thanksgiving, that movie's fantastic.
Oh.
It's
I have
awful.
not seen that. Should I see it?
Yeah.
The third one just came out, and they didn't even make a second one. They just skipped the sequel.
Yeah, they're like, fuck it.
Oh.
So that's what you're in for. Is one of those kind of movies.
Since Thanksgiving is coming up, it is about a killer turkey. So.
Well, that does sound seasonally appropriate.
It is appropriate, and it was shot where I live.
What?
Yeah, so you have to watch it now. It's on Netflix. If you don't have Netflix, I will send you my information and be like, just watch Thanksgiving. I don't even... If you hate it, that's fine, too. Alright, sorry, I'm still kind of thinking about beaches, and I'm kind of getting sad about it.
Oh, no, are you
I am a little bit. I'm thinking about Bette Midler singing Wind Beneath My Wings, and it's sad.
your heartstrings?
It is. It's so sad. Why? Why did she have to get heart problems? What is
It's funny you were saying like that movie, the bad amazing one you liked because it was filmed in your hood pretty much. One of the reasons I know I'm gonna love Muck so much when it comes out is that it was filmed in Massachusetts, and like when our horror movies, I don't know, they're so rarely set in Massachusetts, which is my home state, and I'm damn proud of it.
Well, yeah,
same way.
I live in South Carolina, unfortunately, and they actually filmed The Strangers 10 minutes from my house, and we went to the house, and it's so funny because if you watch that movie, I love that movie. It's so creepy. But the people that actually live in that house they're incredibly old, and they were out in their yard picking up pine cones with one of those gopher grabber things, and I was like, this is not what I imagined in my head.
Oh, that's so innocent.
You guys don't know what went on in this house, do you?
I have no idea.
So what do you think about the rebooted and recycled movies that they keep remaking?
I'm a big fan of the originals. If I ever see that there's like a sequel, or not a sequel, a remake of a movie coming out, I'll make sure to watch the original first. Definitely. And then, sometimes the sequels are fine, the remakes are fine, as their own movie, but in general, I just don't really see the need.
Right. There's so many other ideas that could be made out there. I don't know what they do.
Unless they remake Beaches and make it happy at the end.
Yeah. Or unless, like with Carrie, and they stick Angela Bettis in it, then I'll watch it.
Exactly. I agree with that 100%.
Right. Did you see that was such a good movie too?
Yeah, it was great. I saw it.
I love it. I'm actually looking forward to the next one too. I don't know why. Like I said, I don't like remakes, but for some reason, I'm a big fan of Chloe, and I think that movie looks awesome.
Oh, are they remaking it again?
Right. Yeah, it comes out next year with
What's that?
with Hit Girl.
Oh shit. Well, then I'll probably watch it.
You'll be her for Halloween.
Yeah. My theme for Halloween costumes, I have to be a different female action hero every year. So I was Hit Girl this year. Also, I was Tomb Raider one day this year. So that was pretty amazing.
That's awesome.
Recently, I think Hit Girl is like the greatest action female right now. I mean, she kicks so much ass in that movie.
Oh yeah. A couple years ago, I was Tank Girl. That was a good one too.
Oh yeah, that's such a good comic. You want to ask the next one, Stacey?
Yeah. What's your favorite decade of horror movies? Like 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000?
Probably not 2000. I'm gonna go with. I'm just gonna put that out there. I feel like the 90s are most of the horror movies I've seen. Although I do like the older ones, like the original Friday the 13th. So maybe, I'm gonna go with the 80s. Because the original Friday the 13th were awesome. What year did that fourth one come out? That was 3D.
Yeah, the third one, it was 85, I want to say.
Yeah, it was the 80s for that one too.
Yeah.
Definitely the 80s then.
Yeah, the best scene, the arrow going out, and it's supposed to come out at you, and it never really did. And I have the version.
One time specifically, she's holding a shovel, and they turn, and it's supposed to look like the shovel comes straight at you. And
3D technology in the 80s wasn't really up to par with
what it is. It was just a headache every time.
Well, the last question is, what is something that you've learned from horror movies that you'll never do in real life?
Oh.
But that's probably a hard question for you since you're a stunt woman or you're on a
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier because yours is caving.
Yeah, I won't go caving. Descent scarred.
Oh, well, after seeing The Descent, I was invited to go caving recently, and honestly, my first question was, are we going to have headlamps, and am I going to, is there going to be a way out, or any possibility of there being a rock slide behind me?
Are there creatures? Do you know where we're going? I mean, I don't want to get lied to.
Is it somewhere in the Appalachians? Are people going to know where we are? Other than that, if there is ever somebody creepy in my house, I am not going upstairs, and I am not going in the basement. I am leaving.
Right. Yeah, I never understood why they did that. It's always someone stupid running upstairs and then locking their door. But you can kick a door in. I don't know if they know that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show. We had so much fun with you.
Yeah, and thanks for having me. And I'm glad you guys love The Woman so much. It's inspiring.
Yes.
You're getting a tattoo also?
Yeah, I'm scheduled after Christmas. It's my self-Christmas present.
Oh, man. What are you getting? Same thing?
No, my boyfriend actually works at a tattoo shop, but I told him I shouldn't say this on the air. I was like, I don't want you to do it. So I'm gonna there's another guy that works there that's doing it. I basically just took in pictures of every character in that movie. And I was like, just do what you want to with this. And he does a lot of portrait type stuff. So it's just gonna be this huge portrait, and since my thighs are kind of big, I gotta put it on my thigh. So it's gonna be just what I'm hoping for is basically just pictures of all the characters put on my thigh.
That's so awesome. That's gonna be really cool. You have to put a picture of that on Facebook after.
Oh, I will.
I think I'm gonna have to put Socket right under the woman or right next to her just to because there has to be a woman too. That'd be my Woman 2 movie tattoo.
Exactly.
If you get a Socket tattoo, send me a picture.
Oh, I definitely will. My friend does my tattoos for free, so I mean, I can. It's amazing.
That is amazing.
For someone being so broke, I get awesome work.
Exactly.
Well, thanks again for being on the show. We had so much fun with you, and anytime you want to come back on, you just let us know. We'll be happy to talk with you.
Oh, thanks, guys, and thanks for having me.